we are deeply concerned by the loss of civilian life in this incident.
So, once again, we have Soulless Matthew Miller expressing deep concern over the lives of Palestinians lost. Once again, another night of many Palestinians in Gaza being destroyed, their lives being destroyed by the IDF, and he has deep concern.
We have reached out to the government of Israel to ask what happened here. We don't yet know the underlying circumstances. We have not gotten a full explanation from them about.
So in this next clip, Matt Miller, he talks about how it's an incident. It's a horrible incident. These kids being killed, yeah, by a terrorist army. They are an army of terrorists, essentially. These the most moral army in the world, and the Israeli army. So they kill them like they're stepping on ants, and it's a horrible incident. And then he has the I mean, he had to say after that, oh yeah, these poor children, these 24 children, that, as the report said, the number of children that died, oh, they were running around all year. They were running around because of this war, running so they could avoid dying. I mean, why do you think they have to run around all year to avoid dying? Them and their loved ones, their families. Why? It can't be because Israel is, getting weapons from you. Yeah, money and weapons, all the money, weapons that they need. Of course, they're not getting any of that from you guys, right? The U.S. government isn't giving them anything, right? I mean, the U.S. government is blameless, right? Right? Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, what? Oh, you keep giving them, even though you keep telling them to stop. Even though you keep saying you shouldn't do that, it's wrong. But here, take some more money. Here, take some more weapons. You say, oh, poor kids running around in the war. It's your fault. You are complicit in this. You sending those weapons and that money to the Israeli army, to the Israeli government, it's like a parent giving a gun to a little kid and telling them, here, you could shoot the animals, the cat, the kittens in the street, kill as many as you want. That's exactly like what this is. And yeah, let's go on to the next clip.
This was a horrifying incident with a horrifying result. I can't speak to the total death toll, but there are reports of 24 children killed in this incident. No doubt, a number of them are children who have been fleeing the effects of this war for more than a year now.
Oh, okay. So here in this last clip, Miller's mentioning how, they tried to ask what happened. Like, oh, Israel, can you please tell us what happened? Like, we need to know all the information, just to see if there's any justification for what you did. I mean, there must be. Hamas must have been there using all these innocent people as human shields. Of course. Everything you do is A-okay by us, because you are the most moral army in the world. The thing is, though, I don't think it's really about that, really. I think it's about how he's just saying this to let the public know, hey, we really want, we want to get to the bottom of this, yeah? We want Israel to tell us, I mean, we're asking nicely, though. We're asking, pretty please, with cherry on top. Can you please tell us what happened so that we could tell our people that, hey, they really didn't they really did their best to avoid killing all these innocent people, but Hamas. The thing is, though, you know what? It's not really about that. It's the fact that the American military intelligence, they know what's going on. They're side by side of Israel. Like, they're coordinating with them on everything. So it won't be a surprise to me, honestly, that they know exactly what happened and they are okay with it, even because Palestinian lives don't matter. And you know, they clearly they want Israel to succeed. They want them to ethnically cleanse Palestine. They are hoping for that. I mean, why else did they never stop giving weapons and money to them? They never stopped. Never. And like, no matter how much they want to talk about how we feel really sad about these kids dying. Oh, we are deeply concerned. Not even sad, they're deeply concerned. Yeah, there's no sadness there. There's a lack of empathy. There's no empathy whatsoever, because it's just, they don't matter to them. Palestinian lives don't matter. Israeli lives matter, though. Of course it does. And because, I don't know if it's because they look like them, but as Biden said in the 1980s, if Israel didn't exist, we would make one. He even said the $3 billion at the time was the best investment that America could make in the Middle East. And, you know, for stability, peace, whatever, there's no peace really. There's no stability really. It's more like it's good for America, for the US, because if Israel expands, it's good for the US as well, because in a sense, Israel is a proxy of the US. You know, they like to throw the word proxy around to Iran and those other countries. And but really, every accusation that they level against them, it's a confession for themselves. So Miller, he's just a spokesperson, but he represents the US government. And the US government doesn't care about Palestinian babies. And they like to spin it to their people, to the American citizens, through their media channels and all that. You know, that, oh yeah, you know, everything that the Gaza ministry has said is a lie. Everything. It's clearly a lie. Even though they relied on those numbers before the genocide happened. You know, they relied on those numbers for many years. So for them to go now, oh, you know, I don't know, are these numbers really accurate? But you know, what Israel says, oh, that has to be accurate. Clearly, like, they will never lie to us. Yeah, 75% of the people that died are Hamas. Literally, a lot of Israeli officials are saying this. So people need to wake up. They need to find better news sources, you know, because what they have in CNN and MSNBC and all those other Western media types, the BBC, they're not showing you the truth. They're only showing you what Israel wants you to know. And what the US especially doesn't want you to know, especially the American voters, is that the US is in lockstep. It is completely fine with everything Israel is doing. Like, the only reason why the presidential candidate Kamala Harris, those other people at the top, the only reason why they would be really upset right now that there's no ceasefire is just because it would affect their success in the election. That's it. It would make it really hard for her to win the election. And you know what? The ceasefire, even if a ceasefire does happen at that time, I mean, of course, it's never going to happen with the IDF leaving Gaza. That's not going to happen. They're never going to leave. So, uh, you know, the U.S. will be completely fine with Hamas saying, okay, ceasefire, but IDF stays though. Of course, they would love that, but no, because Hamas, and they are a resistance group, by the way. They, in all honesty, they are a resistance group, because if not for Israel occupying and submitting the Palestinians to this apartheid system for decades, many decades, almost 80 years now, there would be no Hamas, honestly. Like, the Palestinians, they just want peace. That's all they want. And they fight back because they've been forced to. Many of the victims, many of the people that have died, or they're the survivors of their families, yeah, young boys, they grow up joining Hamas because they have nothing to lose. Like, after having everything taken away from them, of course they're going to fight their occupier. This is something any sane person would do. So forget about the specific things that Hamas have done. You can't, you got to put that out of your head right now, okay? Because in all fairness, none of all that they did is because of what Israel has done to them. And Israel, the Israeli government, it's a terrorist. It should be labeled as a terrorist organization. It is a terrorist organization. They literally started as a terrorist organization before Israel was formed in 1948, before even World War II, before the Holocaust even happened. During the late 1930s, you had Palestinian villages. People were being massacred by militias formed by Jews, by Zionist Jews. Yeah. So just to close out this video, Israel did not peacefully come into existence. They were already killing people, killing many Palestinians, with the purpose of driving them off the land so they could take it for themselves. And then when they were officially recognized, they did even more, of course. There was 1967, the Six-Day War, when, and of course the Western media would never really say this out loud, but Israel was killing people in many different villages in Palestine, and the Arab nations that got together against them, they came in defense of the Palestinians. So that's a complete lie, that Israel was peacefully trying to coexist with Palestinians and then Arab nations came and tried to attack them. No. Any time that Israel was in a conflict, it was a conflict that they started. They are always the aggressor. And when the aggressor comes upon land and gets people to leave that land, they would take that land. So, and this is something that the U.S. deeply admires, because in a sense, it's something they wish they could do themselves. So that's why they have no problem with any of this. And of course, they would like them to take all of the Middle East, even beyond that, because that would mean that there's more, perhaps there'll be economic opportunities for the US that there wouldn't have been without Israel being there. And security, of course, in that their enemies will be gone. There'll be no enemies there. Of course, these enemies, they came about due to Israel. In fact, even before Israel was formed, the US had no issues with Iran. There were no issues with the Middle East at all. So the fact of the matter is, Israel has always been instigating conflict. It's always been creating enemies And a lot of these enemies that came, that came to existence, it was because of what Israel has done to them in the past. It's the trauma that they have placed into their lives, the constant, always putting them in the prison system, always um, taking their loved ones, killing their loved ones. It's going to have an effect on you, a deep traumatic effect. So this is, you can't trust anything Matthew Miller is saying. You can't trust anything American officials are saying, because they are in it. They want Israel to win. They want Israel to achieve greater Israel, because it's greater for the U.S. Uh, and any time, just don't believe them when they say that they are upset with Israel or they are confused by what they're doing. Just stop sending them weapons. Stop sending them money. Okay? Or you could just stop lying and be honest to your own citizens. Just be honest. Be honest that you support a genocidal state. Please. Yeah? Okay. All right, I'm done. I'm done for now. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.